Pledge allegiance.
To the flag
Pledge allegiance to the flag.
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, what do we have first?
Joe, I just want to make sure BCAT's
Okay.
here.
This is the first time I didn't have a paper in front of me.
Ow.
I have to go back to this thing.
Doesn't look like the cameras are on yet.
Anybody have it right away? We can just get the first one? Because this isn't open yet?
016, the non-binding referendum for the marijuana establishments.
Marijuana?
Yeah.
All right. Ready, Paul?
Yep.
Oh, here we have it on here.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At our last meeting, when we were having our discussion on marijuana establishments in town, the board had the idea that they wished to possibly place a non-binding referendum question on the town election so that we could solicit more feedback from the residents as to how they feel about marijuana in Burlington. I spoke to town council. You have the question there. It's relatively basic, but the one important thing that she stressed is we really have to put all over that this is a non-binding referendum, so it's simply to take the temperature of the town. If it votes one way or the other, it's not really enforceable, so it doesn't impact our current rules and regulations. If for a change to happen, it would have to go through the entire process, but it would allow the board and other elected and appointed bodies within town to have a better sense of how the town feels about marijuana, given that the last vote was, I think, 8 years ago. Does that sound right? So the question's there before you, and if you're in favor of moving forward with this, we would need your vote here to basically ask the town clerk to add this on to the town election ballot in April.
Okay, we'll start with Jim. Questions on this?
No questions. I just feel as though, again, it's one of those issues that, some people want it, some people don't, and when we get that situation, we put out a non-binding referendum just to see where as Paul said, the temperature of the town is, to see where we're at. So I have no questions, but I'm okay with putting it on the ballot, Bill.
Okay. Nick?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I agree. I think that we should put it on as a non-binding referendum for the town to take and, gauge what the difference in nearly a decade makes in the town. I think since our last meeting, a lot of folks have emailed, many of whom expressed general dislike to the notion, referring back to what felt like quickly became stock standard language of, we made this decision 8 years ago, why are we doing it again now? It seemed like a particular group of folks, kind of banded together to have that outreach. There's a lot of conversation on Facebook through some of the, groups. A lot of folks were expressing being in favor of it. On top of, this consideration of non-binding referendum, I wanted to ask if we were going to move forward with no clear recommendation to town meeting and let this stand as the recommendation, or if we were going to make a recommendation now based on the information we have in front of us, and also make this move as well, asking town meeting to pause. Just in the air of us kind of coming to this decision more or less in a last-minute fashion, I just kind of wonder if we owe to town meeting to take a more formal position other than just, let the town decide. So just for the board's consideration. Thank you.
Thank you. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Initially, when we first discussed the possibility of putting this on a non-binding town referendum, I was all for it. I think it's I thought it was a great idea, and just to get the pulse of the town. It seems like we've gotten a lot of negative feedback through email about removing the moratorium on selling cannabis in town. But when everyone I've talked to, if you talk to someone one-to-one or you reach out to someone, hey, what are your thoughts? It seems like people are either in favor of marijuana sales in town or they're ambivalent. And I feel like it's kind of understandable because it's not something you're going to go out and wave the flag about, like, hey, let's sell marijuana here. It's either, live and let live, it doesn't really affect me, or you're strong against it. And that would enable or motivate someone to write a letter to the select board, to us, or to their town meeting member. So I'm very torn now on this ballot. I wish we would have done it in November to get kind of a better kind of sample size of our electorate and residents. And what I don't want to happen is I don't want to put this on the ballot for April and kind of cut town meeting's legs out from under them. I have full faith that town meeting is going to have a good discussion on this and make the right decision for our town. They're also elected officials who take their jobs very seriously. And I don't want to send a message from the select board saying, we don't trust you to discuss this. I would not want to put this on the ballot in April and see it get postponed tonight because of what we do here. I think we can have both. But again, I don't want that message to be sent to town meeting. I have full faith in them, and I'm very much looking forward to the discussion tonight or Wednesday, whenever it happens to, I mean, this has been a long process, and I know Will and Alex have been working a lot on this, and I want to kind of see, just, let's throw it out there and see what happens. So no matter what happens tonight here with our vote, I don't want town meeting to think it is, because of it is a lack of confidence from us to them. It is just more information on kind of getting just a grasp on how the town feels. I think the more information we have on something like this, it's so sensitive, the better. And I definitely think that attitudes have changed on marijuana since we first talked about this in 2016, 2018. So even right now, I'm still torn on which way to go. I have no problem taking a position tonight on this. Either way, I'm pretty overall ambivalent, but if I were to vote tonight, I would vote in favor of having marijuana sales in town. I think it's being sold on our borders. It's, we're not going to keep it out of town. We might as well reap the tax benefit of having it sold because of the current economy and the uncertainty and the building projects we want to do. So I know that's a long-winded roundabout way. That's kind of where I am on it, and anxious to see what we do. Thanks, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Sarah?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I do think we should put it on a ballot for a non-binding referendum. I know the timing is a little off, a little iffy, both with the fact that this is just a local town election and not a national election, and also that it's going to be discussed at town meeting tonight, and it wouldn't go on the ballot until April. So I definitely relate and agree with a lot of the points my fellow board members made. I don't know if they're I would be fine with having a vote on whether we support this as a board. Full disclosure, my vote would be to abstain, just because I don't feel like I have the information that I need to represent the will of the community. I think it goes back to some people's point that I've heard people bring up, is that, we should be able to form an opinion as leaders in this community, as we do on most issues we vote. Like the chair said last meeting, well, why don't we just put everything on the ballot? Like, it's a fair point. But with this issue in particular, there is a history behind it. It's a very unique history. The fact that a prohibition was put into our bylaws by town meeting as a result of a townwide vote, I have trouble just assuming the collective attitude of the town has changed, especially when we are hearing by email, mostly from folks who are very much against it, and a select few who are in favor. And I'm having the same experience as Mike, where I'll talk to people in passing and they'll be like, yeah, why not? Like, it's just kind of like a, why don't we do it kind of thing. So it's really hard to get the temperature of the town. So this is, putting on the ballot is just another avenue for feedback in what is a very unique situation with our town and with this issue. Like I said, I'm fine with taking a vote as a board if that's what we want to do. I would be abstaining, and I would be happy to communicate that to town meeting as to why I abstained. And I think it's also appropriate to communicate what Mike expressed, in that we have faith in town meeting, but as a leadership body, we just want to get more information from the town. So those are my thoughts. I don't know if that helps in any way. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So I can see both sides of this issue, there's no question about it. I feel a lot like Mike does. I think this thing's been kicked down the road a lot for a lot of years. We did vote on it a very, very long time ago. As far as letting the town vote on it, I can see that side of it, and I can see the side of it where Mike has said that town meeting representatives are there to represent us. As far as anything else goes, if we were to vote on this tonight, I'd be voting a certain way. So basically, it's up to the board now to make a decision whether or not you want to vote on this, or just bring it to town meeting the way it is right now. Any comments on that from anybody? As we all sit here very quietly. Sarah's going to abstain. Paul, any comments from you?
No,
No?
just like I say, we put together the question with the
Yeah.
town council for the board to consider, and we'll do whatever the board decides.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if I may, let's start with this. I'll make a motion that we approve sending the non-binding referendum to the ballot in April.
I'll second it.
So that's, motion's made and seconded. And the motion is to put this on the ballot for April as a non-binding question.
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Aye.
So, Mr. Sagarino, is that, to put it on the ballot, is that for the majority?
I believe it was a simple majority.
It is?
But I'll have to follow up on that.
What did you,
Because I remember where it was the debt exclusion vote, we needed 4.
yep.
Right.
That was relatively unique from what I've seen over the years in terms of a vote requirement for debt exclusions. It would typically be a majority vote.
All right, the only reason I asked is that was a ballot question that was going to go out to the public, and we needed 4. I just want to make sure that wasn't the situation.
Okay.
So the vote was just 3-2?
Correct.
So 3 in favor, 2 against.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
So now, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I make another motion, if I may, that we, I'll do this in the affirmative so there's no confusion. I'm voting that we support the article in the warrant related to this. I forget what it's. what
Lifting the
number it is.
prohibition or?
Lifting the, removing the prohibition?
Removing the bylaw?
Can we do
Lift-
that? It's not on the agenda, I don't know if we can do that or not.
We can
It
do
is
that.
under warrant articles.
Oh, all right.
So that's why we put that one on there.
So the motion would be to, say it again?
So I want to,
If you want to do it, do you want to do it on?
do you want to just pause and come back to it? I'm happy to do
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that
Okay,
would
we
probably
can
be a
do that.
more appropriate agenda item
Okay.
to.
I withdraw my haphazard motion, and I'll take a minute to think about how I'm going to phrase it.
Okay. Okay. Next is approval of town clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. A couple weeks ago, our town clerk, Amy Warfield, came to the board meeting to let us know about her intention to retire. And as a result of that decision and the timing of it, that will result in the placement of the remaining 1 year of her term on the ballot. The board expressed their support for that during the meeting, and we just wanted to make sure that we tidied it up with a proper vote here this evening. So, same thing you talked about last time, that you want to put the 1 year
Yep.
remaining term of Amy's town clerk position on the ballot for April. As the board knows, the town will also be considering the question of should the position be elected or appointed on the same ballot. But that's the way the bylaw works in terms of whether we had time to add that onto the ballot, so.
Okay.
Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to put the 1-year term for town clerk for the town of Burlington on our April election ballot as a result of our current town clerk's resignation effective April 30th.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. No discussion on this? Okay, motion made and seconded, so all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, 5-0. January town warrant meeting articles.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We put this on there just in the event the board had voted on most of the articles that you indicated to us that you wish to take a position on, and we just wanted to put it on here again in case you wanted to consider a position on any further articles.
Sarah, anything, any questions on this?
No, I have no other warrant articles that I personally think we need to vote on.
Okay. Mike?
Nothing that, I'm gung-ho about taking a vote on. We'd be happy to take a vote on the marijuana article if the board is so inclined.
Okay. Nick?
So there are technically two, right? There's Article 10, which is the establishment of the retail overlay.
That one's been pulled, Nick.
Oh, that's pulled.
That was sort of the zoning article, correct, John?
Yeah,
So-
it's been withdrawn, but then it's only, the planning board didn't take a vote on it, so it can't.
Oh, okay,
So we're left with 17, which would be the general bylaw.
gotcha. All right, well, then that makes my life a little bit easier. I'd like to propose a motion that we support the rescinding of the prohibition on marijuana establishments, Article 17 in the warrant.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All those in favor? No? Yeah? Any comments? You guys are, you made a motion, right?
I did.
Huh?
He seconded.
He seconded it. No comments? No
No
nothing?
discussion.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? 500.
No.
Sorry, you're right.
Opposed.
You're right. You opposed, I'm sorry. You're right. You always have. Sorry about that, Jim.
And then
And you have an abstention.
501.
You have an abstention.
And an abstention, 501.
311.
Hold on, let me get it straight. What is it?
311.
311.
we can take enough of these votes. We're gonna-
So you just want to clarify
I
that?
feel like I'm at the horse race right
Do
now.
a redo on that so everyone can see.
All right.
On here.
Motion's made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
3. Abstain?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
There you go.
311.
311. Okay, I got it. Not bad. Okay, Ms. Sagler, you'll finish this, or we
I
also?
have nothing further unless there's any more
Nothing else.
articles that are on tonight's meeting that the board wishes to take a position on.
Okay. We have no minutes. Citizens' time? We have no citizens' time?
No.
Do we have any citizens that are here would like to speak? Because
If we have
it is a meeting, right?
Is it on the agenda?
Not on the article, not on the agenda.
Not on the agenda.
We could just take it off. I didn't know we could do that.
It was a quick together meeting, so everyone could get
Okay.
to town meeting.
All right. I apologize for anybody that's out there that can't. I didn't realize that. My bad. Take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Second. Third. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Motion.